For the first time ever, we're going to be doing a tier list here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. So what we're going to do is I'm going to bring on producer Loco Lopez, and together we're going to go through and put the Saints roster on a tier list of 5 different categories. And for context, we're not going to be discussing any rookies in this video. It's too early to tell whether or not these guys are going to be franchise players. Jury's still out. I just don't think it's fair. And honestly, we would have just put all of the rookies in one column together. So I just figured it's easier. No rookies. We're not talking Tyler Shuck, Devin Neal, Kelvin Banks, none of these guys. So just in case you guys were curious where they are, they're not in this conversation. But we are talking about pretty much everybody else. Now, before we dive into this conversation, I want to ask you, Saints fans, who are your top 3 players on the Saints roster? In no particular order, who are the top 3 guys that wear the black and gold and play football for the New Orleans Saints? I want to hear from you in the comment section. Without further ado, let's get this tier list started. Loco Lopez, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. I'm excited about this.
I am too.
I want to see how this goes. I'm ready.
I am too. Feel free in the comments, by the way, if you disagree with us or if you think that what we're saying is wrong, or you totally agree with us, feel free to sound off and let us know in the comment section or in the live chat of this video. Let's start off, Lopez. Pick a player, and we're going to rank them. Really quickly, though, can you read what each of the tiers are from top to bottom?
Okay. At the top of our list, we got cornerstone piece, meaning like best of the best on the roster. He is a franchise guy.
Yeah, guy you can build around for the cornerstone and for the future of your team.
Then we got valuable starter right under him. You know, not a cornerstone, but very important. On a championship team, everybody needs valuable starters.
Yep.
Then we got solid starter, so still starting, but, not as important as the guys above you.
Yeah.
Then we got clock is ticking. It's like, okay, it's time you either figure it out or you're gone.
Shit or get off the pot type thing.
And then last but not least, we got jury is out, meaning
no clue.
Yeah.
We don't know. It's too we don't know. We still have to figure it out. Let's start off, Lopez. Pick a guy, and we're going to get this thing rocking and rolling.
I'm thinking I want to start with Alante Taylor.
Okay, let's start Alante Taylor here. I'm personally going to put Alante Taylor in a cornerstone piece category. And my reasoning is because I believe Alante Taylor truly is a very unique player. He's a very disruptive player. And honestly, the New Orleans Saints defense has been very successful when he's on the field. Of course, there are things he needs to improve on, but I think if you have a player that can be just an overall offensive or defensive weapon, I should say, I think that is extremely valuable, and that is a cornerstone piece that you can build around on the defensive side of the football.
I agree with what you're saying. I don't know if I'm putting him in cornerstone
That's
yet.
fair. No, that's totally fair.
I had him going in valuable starter for me.
We can put him in valuable starter.
For the reason that you said, now can he make that jump to cornerstone this season? I don't see why not,
that's
especially in Brandon Staley's offense or defense. How he started last season, and if Brandon Staley kind of unlocked that for a full 17 games or 18,
17-game season, 18 weeks. Yeah, no, I got
still
you.
Adjusting.
I agree with you. Let's put him in the valuable starters selection.
Okay.
Again, if you guys disagree, let us know. All right.
Yeah, we're live.
Who's next here? Yeah, we're live right now here on Saints Now while we're filming this. So let us know.
I saw a couple people in the chat say Justin Reed.
Let's do Justin Reed.
Let's do
Justin Reed then. I'm gonna put Justin Reed in the valuable starter conversation with the idea that I could be convinced to put him in the cornerstone spot as well.
I think he's a little old to call cornerstone anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's going to be good with the Saints. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
I'm excited to see what he brings.
Sure.
I think he's going to bring great veteran presence to that secondary, which does lead me more to that valuable starter. But I don't think I will build around Justin Reed long term.
So he is 28 years old, drafted in 2018. So definitely tread on the tires, but not nearly
Not
like
as old as I thought.
No, not quite at 30 yet. Let's go ahead and put him in valuable starters. I think that's fair because we haven't seen him play yet. For what it's worth, I think that he is going to prove himself to be a cornerstone piece of this defense, at least in my opinion. I hope so. All right, let's get to another one here. Let's pick the next one.
Okay, I think let's get the easiest one out of the way.
Okay.
There's one cornerstone guy I think we both agree on.
You want to just say it on 3?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Alvin Kamara.
Oh.
That too.
I agree with it.
That too. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Chris Olave. Yeah, put him in. That's an easy one. That's an easy one.
I thought that's where we were going.
Yeah, that's an easy one. I was like, because I saw Alvin Kamara first on the order.
No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I think that I mean, honestly, we can just go ahead and put Alvin Kamara in cornerstone piece.
Throw him up there.
Sure, I don't care that he's on the wrong side of 30. He's playing great football. He's playing some of the best football of his career. I think that he's going to be just
for
fine.
1K this year.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Oh, could not agree more.
Doesn't matter.
Could not agree more.
He's going for 1K.
All right, next one. Are we going offense or defense here? Let's see. Let's go Brian Brzee here. Let's just go Brian Brzee.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm going to put Brian Brzee in valuable starter. I want him to be a cornerstone piece, but I think if he's going to be a cornerstone piece, he needs to improve the run-stopping portion of his game, and I think that he needs to prove that he can be an every-down defensive tackle. I think he's like on the cusp of that, but I want to see him just take that extra step, if you will.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think this is a big year for Brian Brzee. It's like, okay, not completely like this is your final time or final opportunity, but I think this is going to be a year where we are expecting some big growth out of him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. And I think he can become that cornerstone piece. And for what it's worth, I think the defensive line, if you can get the interior and the edge rusher, you have a perennial defensive tackle or a perennial edge rusher. You got to have some guy on the defensive line be the guy. Mm-hmm. And if you can have either him or Chase Young be the guy, that would be awesome. It's just a matter of which one of these two players is going to do that. So let's go Brian Brzee, valuable starters. And since we just talked about Chase Young, where do you want to put Chase Young? I feel like he hasn't proved to be a cornerstone piece yet.
No, I can't put him in cornerstone. I'm between valuable and solid.
Yeah.
Honestly, right now, I might have Chase Young over Brian Brzee on the roster.
Chat, what do y'all think? Brian Brzee or Chase Young? Who do you have higher on the roster? I don't know what to do with this because I'm trying to think. I'm like, do I put in the solid starter? Do I put one of them in the, valuable? Like, I'm kind of, I don't know here. Avery saying Brzee is higher. Jathan saying Chase Young. Quinn Courtney saying Brian Brzee. Isaiah saying Chase hasn't proven anything yet. I think that's fair. He hasn't had a 10-plus sack season yet. So I think let's put Chase Young at solid starter.
Okay.
With the idea that he has more to prove
He's
here.
Like right on that cusp.
It's like, right there. Yeah, if you could put them between on the line, that's where you would put him. But are we going to get flamed for putting him as a solid starter?
It's possible. We're going to get flamed for something.
Yeah, we're going to get flamed either way. Who cares? I'll take it. We're going to get flamed either way. All right, let's keep this thing rolling. You want to just go special teams? I see Blake Groupie on there.
Yeah, we can.
Let's go
Blake
solid starter. He's nothing super special. He's got a decent leg. Accuracy's all right. Has not been clutch in some moments, but has had some moments where he's been really, really impressive. So
I don't think he's going to be one of those kickers where I don't think he's going to be here in 5 years. Nothing against Blake Groupie. That's just kind of how kickers work in the NFL.
Unless you're a pre-issues Justin Tucker or like an Adam Vinatieri or
I just don't see
Steven, was it Janikowski? Is that
Sebastian Janikowski?
Sebastian Janikowski, yeah. Like, did I say Steven Janikowski? What an idiot.
You're thinking Gostkowski.
Gostkowski, yeah. Whatever. Either way, point being, unless you're one of those like truly elite kickers, like it's hard to have a long career in the NFL. But Blake Groupie, I think, is solid. Let's keep it rolling. You get to pick the next guy.
I think it's time we talk Trevor Penning.
Okay.
I know where I am at on this.
I know where I'm putting him as well.
Okay, you want to say it on 3?
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Clock
Jury's
is
out.
ticking.
Oh, I have jury is out. I think clock is ticking is definitely a better.
I think
option.
This is make or break year. For Trevor Penning.
I agree with you. Put him in the clock is ticking section. Put him in the clock is ticking section. I see people in the chat asking about Taysom Hill. This is an easy one.
We're not putting him in cornerstone. We can't put him.
The hell we are.
The hell
we are. I don't care about the injury. I don't care. The hell we aren't. Put him in the suit. What? Guys, chat. Do we put Taysom Hill in the cornerstone piece? I think he is. Maybe I have black and gold tinted glasses.
But I can't put him in cornerstone.
Okay, is he a cornerstone player? Is Taysom Hill a cornerstone player? I kind of am on the camp of maybe. When he's healthy.
Like, I'm closer to maybe than hell.
And for what it's worth, I'm not saying he's a cornerstone piece that you build around now. He's a great player to have now, and honestly, he's a luxury. So for that reason, maybe he's a very valuable. Maybe it's like a most valuable starter. if we could have that as like a superlative here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we keep him in the cornerstone.
Like, I won't argue with
just
you, but
for the culture, man.
But if there's one that I feel very highly on later, we're gonna have to take that.
We might have to fist fight over that one. You know what you won't have to fist fight is the best daily fantasy sports platform in the whole wide world, and that is none other than PrizePicks. Guys, this year's basketball playoffs are headed towards crowning a first-time champ in more than 50 years. Don't miss your last chance to cash in on history with PrizePicks. Pick more or less on players' stats like points, rebounds, assists, and more for your shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash today. Did you hear me? I said 2,000 times your cash. Just download PrizePicks today. Use code CLNS. You'll get $50 instantly when you play $5. On PrizePicks, you can mix and match player projections from different sports. So combine your favorite basketball players with players from baseball, hockey, esports, and much, much more. You can sign up today. Like I said, get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's 100% guaranteed. And with all sorts of awesome promotions like Taco Tuesday and Flex Friday, PrizePicks is the best place to turn your ball knowledge into cold, hard cash. Lopez, do we have a picture of a really good deal that's going on with PrizePicks by chance? The Nelk boys right now have a 25% boosted lineup, meaning winnings for this community play lineup will be boosted by 25%. You just take the more on Sean O'Malley's 72.5 significant strikes. Patchy Mix, less than 57.5 significant strikes. And Kayla Harrison, less than 21.25 fight time in minutes. So you can tag along with the Nelk boys, or you can go and make some season-long projections for football. Basketball is in playoffs. Hockey is in the championship as well. So go get yourself started. PrizePicks.com/CLNS and turn your ball knowledge into cold, hard cash. Get $50 instantly when you use code use code CLNS. You'll get $50 instantly when you play $5. Reminder, code CLNS on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. Shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's video. Run your game. All the information is clickable in the comments and description of this show. Back to the tier list here. All righty. Okay. Let's see.
What are we thinking now?
Should we just go alphabetical order here? Might be easy.
Or just work down the list?
Yeah, let's just work down the list. Okay. Bub Means, I believe, is next here. I'm going to go on Jury is Out. We've gotten only a handful of snaps from Bub Means. Really good game against the Buccaneers in and he caught his first touchdown. We've only seen him catch 9 passes on 15 targets, 118 yards. So I'm going to say Jury's Out.
Okay, since obviously we don't have much to go off of here.
Yeah.
We'll put him in Jury's Out, but where do you think he could finish at the end of the 2025 year?
Solid starter.
Okay.
I think the upside is solid starter with the potential of like, oh my goodness, this is the best thing in the world, is he's a valuable starter. You know, I think that he has a lot to prove. I don't want to make his expectations unfair, but I do think that he's a player that could prove to be very, very good on this team, and hopefully he can be that. Cam Jordan is next. This is a conversation now.
My heart is telling me cornerstone, but I know for a fact we can't do that.
This is a conversation now, because at one point in time, Cam Jordan, one of the best defensive ends in the National Football League.
Was the best. I won't argue with the wall.
Yeah, was the best. Now that's not the case. Let's put him at valuable starter.
He still brings a
I think he is or clock is ticking.
That's just age. Age based.
Yeah, that's just age. I mean, I think it's fair to put him there because clock is ticking. He doesn't have much time left in his career.
I'm not against it.
I think we could put him there.
It hurts to put him there knowing that he's next to Trevor Penning and they're just there for two completely different
exactly.
reasons.
But that's the thing, is they're there for two completely different reasons. If the people watching this, they look at the screenshot at the end of it and they're like, why the hell is Cam Jordan on the same level as Trevor Penning? Two different reasons.
Yeah, you're getting cooked on Twitter later.
Yeah, I know for a fact I am.
You're screwed.
Alrighty, who's next? Is that Carl Granderson? Okay.
I'm all for solid starter on Carl Granderson.
Yeah. I like solid starter. I think that's a very fair spot. For what it's worth, Carl Granderson has had some good production in his career. Just needs to put it all together and do it for the whole season. Who's next? Cesar Ruiz?
Yep.
I'm going solid starter. And honestly, if I could put him like between clock is ticking and solid starter, that's where I'd put him. Because he has moments where he's really great, Lopez. But he also has moments where it's like, dude, what is going on here?
No, I definitely agree.
I think solid starter's fair. All right, who's next? Is that
Demario Davis?
Demario Davis. Okay.
If we're going off of age, is he also next to Cam
I think
Jordan?
it is.
I
think so. I think that's fair.
Like, I think he still has a little bit more in the tank.
That's why I almost want to say solid starter. Like, I think he has more in the tank than Cam does. But hold on. I'm having a brain fart. Where are they at in age-wise? How do they compare?
I think
35.
Demario Davis is 33. I saw that earlier, I believe.
Demario Davis, oh my God, is 36.
Oh.
Cam Jordan's 35.
Damn.
So if we're putting Cam and clock is ticking, we have to put Demario Davis, right?
Yeah, sorry, Demario.
Right? Like, for what it's worth, I would put him in, if he wasn't older, I would have put him in solid or valuable starter. But
you know what, though? You look great for 36.
Dude, for 36, this guy looks insane. I also, see, this is hard because, cornerstone pieces, I'm talking about players right now that you can still build around the roster. Taysom Hill is the exception. Should we move Taysom Hill down to clock is ticking? I feel like we kind of have to.
I feel like we can't put him in clock is ticking. Because we've seen drop off
I think we can count on two hands the amount of games we'll see Taysom Hill play left in his career. I think he will play 10 or less games throughout the rest of his career.
That's a hot take.
It is a hot take. I just don't see him coming back after this year. If he gets even slightly banged up again, he's what, 35?
That's true.
And dude, this is tough. Where do we put Taysom Hill? Demario Davis does more. This is so tough, dude.
I agree with what Queen Courtney is saying. Demario Davis definitely does have more in the tank than Cam. Mm-hmm. When you see them on the field,
for sure.
You definitely are like, okay, Cam Jordan looks older.
He lost his step, whereas Demario definitely hasn't. Some of that could be the position they play, too.
Yeah.
I say we just keep it how it is right now.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Let's not
Do
get in
we
our
move
head.
Demario, though? I want it on record that I'm not happy that we're putting Demario Davis and Cam Jordan in the clock is ticking category. I want that to be very known here. But we're going to keep this moving. Erik McCoy, I'm going cornerstone.
Has to.
Cornerstone. He's the anchor. He's one of the best centers in the league. I'm putting him as a cornerstone piece.
You saw what happened. Saw how they were when he
was on
year.
Yeah, when he was on the field, they were scoring 40 points a game. When he wasn't,
we sucked.
Yeah. We didn't win very many games.
We were bad.
It was a disaster. All right, Foster Moreau. I'm really trying to not let my love for the human being and for and who Foster is and his story take over here. I'm gonna say somewhere between solid starter and clock is ticking.
Here's how I look at it. Wherever we put Juwan Johnson, he's gonna have to be below that.
I'm gonna say Foster Moreau, clock is ticking, and I'm gonna say Juwan Johnson, solid starter. Or do we put them both at solid starter? Or not both at clock is ticking? Solid starter.
I'm
starter.
kind of excited for Juwan Johnson.
Solid starter. I'm with you.
Kind of excited.
Why overthink this? Why reinvent the wheel? Let's just make this happen. All right.
Crazy.
Isaiah Foskey, jury's out. We have seen nothing from him.
Yeah. I think next two, honestly, with Kendre Miller.
And for what it's worth, clock is ticking. If I could lower it under, jury is out of this is last chance for you. I'm going Isaiah Foskey, Kendre Miller for sure in that category.
I'm just putting them next to each other.
I mean, Kendre, for what it's worth, has been super exciting when he's been on the field. He just hasn't been on the freaking field.
The practice clips?
The practice clips look awesome. The highlights of him last year, the highlights of him in his rookie year, they're sick when he's on the field, but he's never on the field. The best ability is availability. So when he gets on the field, we'll move him up on this list. But next, is that Colin Saunders?
Yeah.
I believe. Okay.
I think we have to do clock is ticking. There's a chance he's not on this roster come week 1.
I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that one.
I
think that his replacement was drafted in Vernon Broughton. I also think that you traded for Devon Godshaw, which is pretty much replacing what Colin Saunders was doing. So I don't think he's definitely getting cut, but I do think that he's a player to watch out for potentially getting cut. Mm-hmm. We're gonna get into a few more here in really quick, but I want to ask you a question, Saints fans. Lopez, you can stay on camera for this.
Oh, I can.
You can stay on camera for this. I want to ask y'all really quickly to get in the comment section, share your thoughts Do you bleed black and gold? Lopez! Everyone type F Lopez. Do you bleed black and gold?
Clicked on the wrong one.
You're all good. If you bleed black and gold, I want you to hit the sub button and subscribe to Saints Now by Chat Sports. This is the first time we're ever doing a tier list video like this. We're having a lot of fun, I would say. And honestly, this is a weird part of this year where there's not a lot of crazy news coming in. There's not a lot of big updates, but we're going to get creative with the content. We're still going to post daily videos multiple times a day when possible, but also understanding that there's just not a lot to discuss. So if you are a diehard Saints fan, if you bleed black and gold, this is the place for you to subscribe to get daily content by Saints fans for Saints fans. 100% free. Hit the sub button and support the show and help us reach the big milestone of 50,000 subs. Alrighty, we have 1, 2, 3, 6 players. Alrighty. Who's first?
Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Kool-Aid McKinstry. I'm going... Damn it, man. I wish he had a little bit better of a season because I'd put valuable.
I think he can work into valuable.
I think he can work into valuable. I think we put him in valuable because I think we're banking on the upside there.
Okay.
Are you cool with that? Or would you put him at the solid starter?
I'd say if we're banking on because we kind of did that with the Mario Davis and Cam Jordan. We're projecting this upcoming season.
Sure.
So if we think Kool-Aid McKinstry can be a valuable starter this upcoming season, we can put him in this year.
A bunch of people in the chat are saying solid. It's kind of a coin flip.
Isaiah, you're not helping. You said solid, and then one message later, more valuable.
Jerry's saying he's going to stick with solid. He can work up to valuable this season. I think we go solid because it could have been great. I just needed a little bit more from him. I needed a little bit more. I think for what it's worth, I think it was as close to valuable as you can get without being in that list. I'm so between these two guys.
I think he's been the closest that we've had that's really on that cusp.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Him and Chase Young, actually.
Yeah, I would honestly argue more than Kool-Aid McKinstry because Chase Young, we've had multiple years that he hasn't done it, but we know the potential. Whereas Kool-Aid McKinstry, we've seen only 1 year, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad by any means. Is that Pete Werner?
Yep.
All right, Pete. I'm going to go solid. Maybe clock is ticking.
I can't say clock is ticking yet.
Yeah.
I think that would depend on kind of what Danny Stutzman does this year. If Danny Stutzman,
that's true,
kind of has a slower professional start.
That's true.
Completely understandable. It's a big transition.
I get jiggy with that. I can get jiggy with that. Alrighty, for what it's worth, Pete Werner was number 2 in the team in tackles last year behind Demario Davis. Demario had 136. Pete had 92. So we might need to move Demario Davis. Let's keep.
Are we moving Demario Davis?
No, we're keeping him there. We're gonna put Pete Werner at solid starter there. Alrighty, couple more. Rashid Shaheed. I know where I'm putting him. I am probably the only person putting him in this category, but.
I think
more realistically solid.
I think I'm going to be right under. Oh, I thought you were going to say cornerstone. I was going to say
I think he's a cornerstone piece.
I was going to say valuable simply because of the need at receiver.
I think he's a cornerstone player, but I'm much higher on Rashid Shaheed than most people. So let's put him at.
I'll give you valuable.
Let's go valuable. Let's go valuable.
A vital.
Yeah,
he's vital in the position or in the receiver.
And he's the field stretcher. You got to have that guy. All right, I like him at valuable. All right, Spencer Rattler. Clock is ticking. You have a very short clock in a very short leash this year. If given the opportunity to start games, I think clock is ticking for sure on Spencer 100%. Rattler.
He also, if Tyler Shough wasn't drafted, probably wouldn't be clock is ticking just yet. But
no, I would say jury is out still. Yeah. I would say jury is still out. But since they drafted Tyler Shough, clock is ticking. It's a great point there, Lopez. Yeah. All right, Taliesin Fuaga. I'm going. You want to say it on 3?
I'm between 2 right now.
Okay, I know where I'm putting him.
Okay.
He was a right, for what it's remember, right tackle historically in college, moved to left tackle in his rookie year, and he's back on the right side. I can't.
I think we're going to say the same thing.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Jury's
cornerstone.
Out. Oh, I thought we were going jury's out because we haven't seen him.
I'm going cornerstone because
we haven't seen him in this new position.
Fair. We haven't seen him in his new position in the NFL, but he was so damn good when he moved positions last year. That makes me believe in him. I'm personally going cornerstone.
I'll agree with you.
I'm going because your tackles. If you have your bookend tackles, you're set up for success for the long term. That's my personal opinion. Yeah. Alrighty, last one. Tyrann Mathieu. I feel like it's the same thing. I feel like we got to go the same thing here. Clock is ticking.
I don't think clock is ticking for him yet.
You don't think so?
I think he's...
See, that's the conversation. We got to go back to Cam and DeMario. Is their clock ticking more or less than... Shout out to PrizePicks. More or less than... Tyrann Matthews. Yeah. This is tough.
Okay, Cam Jordan, 100% clock is ticking.
Clock is ticking there.
We're going off age.
Yeah.
Now it's just between DeMario Davis and Tyrann Mathieu. I think both of them on the field, you're like, okay, they still got a little bit in them.
Yep.
Cam Jordan, I'm like, okay, if he announced tomorrow that he's retiring, I'd be like, okay, I can see that. I don't see that with DeMario Davis and Tyrann Mathieu just yet. I think they have a year or two left.
DeMario's 36, Cam's 35, Tyrann's 33. I'm willing to go solid starter for Tyrann.
I can agree with that.
I'm willing to go solid starter with the also maybe he's a clock is ticking.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how you want to look at it, but I think this is good. I think I like where we're at.
How did we do? Comment below
yeah,
how we did.
Grade it. Grade the tier list. Would you change anything? Do you like it? I want to hear from you in the comment section. I think this is a good solid group. So let's just kind of really quick recap this, Lopez. So we got in the cornerstone, looks like Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill. I love how we have Taysom Hill in the cornerstone, but we have Tyrann Mathieu and everybody else.
I said my case. Taysom Hill, I love you. Big Taysom Hill guy.
We can move Taysom Hill
it's
down.
Fine.
We can move because he's a luxury. Screw it. No ragrets. We're the Millers style. Scotty P from We're the Millers. No ragrets here. Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill, Erik McCoy, Talese Fuanga as cornerstone. Valuable starters. You got Alontae Taylor, Justin Reed, Brian Brzee, Rashid Shaheed. Solid starters. Chase Young, Blake Groupie, Carl Granderson, Cesar Ruiz, Juwan Johnson, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Pete Werner, and Tyrann Mathieu in the clock is ticking category. Trevor Penning, Cam Jordan, DeMario Davis, Foster Moreau, Colin Saunders, and Spencer Rattler. And in the jury is out, you got Bub Means, Isaiah Foskey, and Kendre Miller. I think that this is a pretty solid tier list. If there's another tier list you want us to do around the New Orleans Saints, the city of New Orleans, or anything like that, let us know in the comment section. I had a lot of fun filming this, and I hope you guys had a lot of fun watching it as well. And Who Dat Nation, I really do appreciate y'all for tuning in. A little bit longer of a video, but nonetheless, it was still a blast to do it. Y'all stay golden, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.